There we go.
Amanda,
Yes.
you're live.
Oh my God! I didn't know you were introducing it right now.
I
Good evening, everyone.
Wow,
This is
you
the
just
amazing Amanda and
like
your
that.
Uncanny Omar. And today on our series, Was It Really That Bad? Oh, hold on a second. I have this playing. So today we are going to be looking at X-Men Last Stand, thanks to over 1,200 votes in our
1,400,
poll.
1,400 people wanted us to see this movie again.
Yes.
Again. So we're going to be talking about X-Men The Last Stand from Fox
Still
Studios.
bothering me. I can't take it. Okay.
I didn't say anything. What are you doing?
Yep.
Okay.
We're good, guys. This tank is just
Her titties are all over the place today.
not working with me. I don't know what's going on.
We're keeping it PG-13, Amanda. God bless.
Okay, so for those who do not know much about X-Men Last Stand, it came out in 2006, was directed by Brett Ratner. Bryan Singer directed the first two X-Men, X-Men and X2, X-Men United, but decided to do Superman Returns, the Brandon Routh movie, instead of doing this third X-Men, which, funnily enough, he did an interview and said that he regretted that decision after watching this film. So there you go. That's a good starting point. Stars all of our favorite actors in a lot of different roles. Maybe not in these particular roles, but we got Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Halle Berry as Storm, poor James Marsden as Scott Summers, aka Cyclops, aka the man who never ever gets the girl. Sir Ian McKellen as Magneto, Sir Patrick Stewart as Professor X, Sean Ashmore as Iceman, Ellen Page, before Juno, I believe, as Kitty Pryde, and of course Anna Paquin as Storm, and Famke Janssen as the Dark Phoenix, or Jean. Oh, and Rebecca Romaine, Stamos. I think she was
at the time. At the time, she was Stamos.
Yeah.
So, welcome everybody. If you're not familiar with the segment, we are going to be talking about spoilers, just in case.
Which it is like over 20 years old, so.
It really isn't.
Okay, it's not. Okay, it's like.
What have you been drinking? Like, the movie just came out in 2006? Is that 20 years ago? But anyway, I am your host, the Uncanny Omar, and with me is the amazing Amanda. So, we are talking about X-Men Last Stand. Now, last year, to kind of give you an idea, eyes up here, Amanda.
just what are you doing? Go ahead.
Tape the damn things down. Last year, we reviewed X-Men Dark Phoenix, the movie.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And Amanda gave it a 5 out of 10. I gave it a 4 out of 10. To kind of give you an idea of what this movie, rewatching it, means. Yes. I swore this movie off when it came out in movie theaters. I saw this movie because, just like every X-Men movie, opening night, I was excited. Went with a group of friends. We're all comic book readers. Watched it. We leave, and I'm the only one in my group that was like, man, that movie was horrible. Because all my friends were like, dude, that was awesome. Beast was cool. You got to see, like, Dark Phoenix, and I was not buying it. I hated that movie. I hated the movie so much, I swore, like, I never watch it again. I hated that movie so much that when a friend of mine, bought me the box set on Blu-ray for Christmas one year, I returned it to Best Buy to buy the individual X1 and 2, and I think Wolverine, whatever it was at the time, Origin. And that's how much I loathe this movie. So rewatching it again was kind of a big deal to me. I mean, how many times have you seen this, or is this your second time? Like, what about you? Because this is only my second time.
Probably more than that. I think I've watched it before I think I remember seeing it in theaters. Definitely know I've seen it when it's been on like FX before.
Okay.
At some point.
All right. So, and I assume I'm not the only one that did not like this movie, because not only was this movie the end of the franchise, as for a while, because after this, the next movie that came out was First Class, which
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, but that was a solo movie, and that was
But it still played off this franchise, so I would say it's
right.
still
Okay,
part of the franchise.
but as
I'm not
far
going
as
to say it's not. Yeah.
but as far as a team movie, I think X-Men First Class kind of was like a
Yes.
fresh start, right? It wasn't a reboot, but it was a fresh start. And then this movie was so well hated that they retconned it out of continuity, right? Because of X-Men Days of Future Past. Once
Yes.
X-Men Bryan
Good.
Singer came back, did Days of Future Past, oh yeah, we're getting rid of all the elements of X-Men 3.
Yep.
So let's talk about this and see how we both feel after
Sure.
after rewatching it again. So I'll let you start. Kind of give us a brief synopsis of what
Sure.
X-Men 3 was.
So, X-Men 3, the main storyline of this movie is about finding a cure. So the humans have found a cure for the mutant gene, which lives inside. It's basically a mutant child who, if a mutant touches him, it renders all their powers useless. They become human again, or their gene is neutralized. And so they've found this cure for the mutant gene. Of course, we already know we're going to have two opposing views. Magneto sees it as a major threat. Not that Professor X doesn't see it as a threat, but Magneto sees it as a threat so much so as he needs to, weaponize against it and go after it, right? Destroy the boy, stop the cure, because how dare they think we need a cure, right? Then you have Professor X's team. They're kind of sidetracked because all of a sudden, because Scott's still dealing with his grief over Jean's death.
Who died in X2, X-Men United.
After sacrificing herself.
But we were getting hints then too. Remember, because we see the big phoenix bird in the waters.
Yes, yes. When the waters all rushed over her and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So you have them kind of doing this very side quest. That's what I consider it for this movie, of Jean coming back, resurrecting from the dead. All of her power is unleashed, and we come to find out that there's a part of her that Professor X has been hiding within her, using his powers, his psychic powers or his mental powers, to kind of bury deep this part of her that is out of control. Well, now that part is unleashed. She kills Scott Summers. Spoilers. And
or does she?
Or does she?
We don't see it, because that's also one of my biggest issues, which we'll come back to later.
And she never says yes or no.
She hugs him, kisses him,
and you see something happening.
And you assume he's dead because they find his visors,
and he's gone.
And he's gone. Body, and Professor X felt something, but you never see a body. You never see him come back at the end. But anyway,
yes.
Go ahead, Amanda. Look, just before we go, but look at this nice comment. It's like I'm watching the movie through Amanda's boss narration.
That's right. So basically, you have the X-Men on this side quest. Then you have Magneto gets alerted to the fact that Jean is back, because his mission, he's trying to rescue Mystique. That kind of happens at the beginning of the movie. She had been captured, and they are trying to rescue her. And in the midst of that, he finds another mutant who can sense mutant powers. And she senses this level 5 threat. And so he knows exactly who it is, because, I mean, him and Professor X, I always want to call him Patrick Stewart. Him and Professor X had visited Jean when she was a child together back in the day, and they do a flashback in the beginning of the movie showing that before they became enemies, in a way, they actually worked together. Mm-hmm. Professor X and Magneto. So they both end up at Jean's house, her old parents' house, and you have two people trying to talk Jean down. Magneto to not listen to Professor X, and Professor X telling her that she needs his help. So for those who don't know what happens, she ends up using her Phoenix powers to literally destroy Professor X into particles. Dust.
Not before we're hinted at this random thing that Moira McTaggart talks about, right? About living inside of somebody else's body, and how that is morally wrong, or is it right? It's just really random.
That's right. She did bring that up. That makes now the very, 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 very end post-credit scene makes a lot more sense, because because Moira McTaggart plays such a small role in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I almost forget that she was in it and that it's Elizabeth Hurley. It is Elizabeth Hurley, right?
Yeah, I hope
Yeah.
so.
Okay. It looked like her, so I assumed.
I think it was her.
Yeah, so I was like, this is really weird. Such a random.
The Ryan Blue Thunder, the transfer of consciousness, if you
Transfer of
will. That's what
consciousness.
she was
Very
talking
good.
about.
Yes. So then you have, so you kind of have that as the main story. After Phoenix or the Dark Phoenix, Jean kills Professor X. She decides to go with Magneto, even though Storm and Wolverine put the good fight up against all of his little, class 3 mutants that he had with him, fighting and keeping him back. So then in the meantime, you have our young students. We've been introduced to, we already knew Rogue, obviously, and Iceman from the last 2 movies. We're introduced to Kitty Pryde, which is played by Ellen Page.
Mm-hmm.
And there's kind of like a love triangle there, I guess, in a way, because, Ellen Page is Kitty Pryde's a cutie, and she's innocent. And,
whoa, wait a minute. Rick Nelson says Olivia Williams played Moira.
oh,
Susan
okay.
Rushmore. Man, she looked like
so much like
Elizabeth Hurley. Wait a minute. Best comment of the evening. Not even a super chat. Omar is a sexy beast. Thank you so much. Continue, Amanda.
Okay. So you have a little love triangle going on. So Rogue, who cannot touch her boyfriend, as we all know because of her powers, sees the cure as an opportunity for her to be a normal human girl who can touch her boyfriend. Which again, sadly, that whole issue we never get to really see play out because it ends and then.
Which actually was a really nice little touch, like a really nice message. Are you happy with who you are, or if you were given the chance, would you be able to change it? And that's a nice little message. And yeah, you're right. They did absolutely nothing with it. Like,
yes, exactly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because there's a lot going on in the movie. That's if you can't tell. So we have other people. We have obviously Mystique ends up losing her powers and gets a one-off basically from Magneto. Like, bitch, bye. I can't deal with you anymore. You don't have powers. You're not one of us. Bye. That was it.
Right,
After all these years of spending with her, that was what we got.
And she still looked fine.
And she's still, she's Rebecca Remain Samos. She's
right?
a good person.
Sorry, Jennifer. What's her face?
Oh, Jennifer Lawrence.
Nah, Rebecca Remain. Better Mystique. That should have been the episode today. Who's the better Mystique? Rebecca Remain or Jennifer Lawrence?
I can't stand Jennifer Lawrence. So.
Oh, there we go. So keep going.
I like Justin's comment about Hollywood's 2 Southern accents, backwood, hillbilly, and plantation. Or exactly. That seems to be the her accent is not even all that great. She slips out of it so often too. You should hear her in True Blood if you have heard her Southern accent. Woo-hoo. Anyways, so now you have Jean with Magneto. You have the X-Men without their Professor X, and trying to figure out what they're going to do. Meanwhile, you have mutants lining up for the cure. You have other mutants who are against it. Then there's kind of doing a renegade campaign to stop the cure until Magneto takes over the airwaves and says he's going to come and destroy everything. And now they're in San Francisco because they made Alcatraz into this institute or laboratory where they're doing the cure, where they're housing this little boy right now. So you have this big showdown basically between Magneto, Jean and their crew, and then the X-Men and their crew. And of course, we have to have all the teenagers start to step up. So we see Kitty Pryde get to fight. Beast gets to fight, which love Kelsey Grammer as a Beast. I just gotta say that.
One of the best parts of this movie.
I would agree with that. Yeah, he is fantastic.
Yep.
I feel bad for Nicholas Hoult, but I mean, yeah, Kelsey Grammer's a good Beast. And so you have them team up. You get to see a couple of good moments, but then finally they give Magneto his comeuppance. He gets shot with the cure from Beast, and then they have to deal with Jean, who gets angry. And then the only person who can stop it is Wolverine because he can't die because he has that regeneration power. And so his love and his determination, and he's the one who has to put her out of her misery because while she is the Dark Phoenix, she's just not strong enough to control her own powers. The man has to do it. And then Wolverine kills her and she dies. and then it comes to a somewhat happy conclusion, and Magneto has no powers, except does he? We don't know. You see a little hint in Central Park trying to move the pieces.
That reminds me of Inception, right? Like the moment of Inception with the top. Did you see the
Yeah,
tops? Did you
did it
see
really?
it? Right. So you did an amazing job. But before we do, can we talk about how rugged I look sipping on a beer, though? Thank you so much,
I'm held
Sean.
up for that.
Rugged on my Bud Light Platinum. So there's a lot of issues with this movie that I had. So let's talk about the good things. So
Yeah,
upon rewatch, there were some good things that
stuck
I
out.
was. The moment that I said, I remember in the movie theater saying "fuck this movie" was when Scott Summers did not come back in the after credits. I don't even like Cyclops, but if you kill a character off screen,
A character as important as Cyclops in the first two movies as well.
right? And
It was,
that was you said it right there. That was a lot of the issues too. Was Bryan Singer had built up these two movies, X-Men 1 and X-Men Last Stand, and then we were going to get a third one. And oh my gosh, it was just like I was ready for it. And I know Brett Ratner, Rush Hour, right? That's what he had
yeah,
done.
yeah, that's definitely.
And those movies were fine,
Yeah, they're fun movies. Yeah,
but I was like, yeah, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. I went in with an open mind, but I remember coming out, I was like, man, fuck this movie. There were so many issues, but that moment right there, I was like, I'm done. I'm never rewatching this again. This completely killed my franchise.
yes.
Because us X-Men fans have been waiting decades for a movie to come out, and we finally got a damn good one.
Dark Phoenix.
With what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I thought you said with Dark Phoenix.
Finish your sentence. Were you guys were just waiting for a good Dark Phoenix movie, and
we're still waiting for a good Dark Phoenix song. But so the good things about this movie, you and I talked a little bit last night. The CG that they used for the de-aging effect on Patrick Stewart and Sir Ian McKellen were on point for the time.
For the time, even 2006, yes.
Even to this day,
yeah, it's not.
They were pretty good.
I mean, it's. I think it's even a little bit better than how they de-aged Michael Douglas in the Ant-Man movie.
I would say, because they used practical effects and CG on top of the practical effects, and that works wonders.
Yeah. Omar is a stickler for practical effects, guys.
I am. I love practical effects. I'm a firm believer in that. Keep people's jobs. So that was good. I love Kelsey Grammer as the Beast. You said that.
Fantastic.
Completely agree with you.
Yes, there's. I really.
Wait, CGI for the de-aging, dude. I thought that was on point. He's saying it's awful. Yeah. Like for 2000 what was it 2006 film? That's pretty good compared to some of the MCU stuff now.
And someone, I think it was Maverick, mentioned Angels escaping was a good scene. Well, not only that, then him coming back to save his dad, even though to introduce an actor like Ben Foster and then you don't see him.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about the bad things.
But anyways, that was the problem I had.
Kelsey Grammer as the Beast was solid. I love the Danger Room scene at the very beginning where you're made to believe that it's years later and you're like, oh my God, it's Days of Future Past, right? You see Wolverine cut down the head of a Sentinel, and that's all you saw back then.
Yeah, and I liked that. That was awesome. That was a good starting scene too.
I
actually didn't mind Ellen Page for Kitty Pryde, especially when she got to use her powers. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, she was okay, and I like the introduction of a love triangle, but it kind of didn't do anything. So
it didn't go anywhere, but that's again issues for the story itself.
I mean, everybody did what they could with the script because the writing is just so messy. But I mean, Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman. Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else was good about it. Honestly, the CG itself at points looked better than the Dark Phoenix CG effects.
I would agree with that.
I don't know why that is. Maybe it was like I said, maybe it was use of practical effects mixed with CG, but it looked better at some points. Not all of it, but some of it.
The other thing I liked is the storyline for the whole idea of this mutant cure. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I like that storyline. That's an interesting storyline that, if not for the fact that we had 800 other stories that we needed to throw in there, could have been a really interesting story to explore. And that was one of my issues, the biggest issue I think with this film, especially when they're trying to refer to it as the Dark Phoenix story, because in my mind, it's not. That is a side note to the main story, and I think that was the biggest problem that this movie had.
Well, it had a lot of issues. So
Yeah.
I was trying to think of what else. Honestly, I kind of liked the message, and I wanted going into it and rewatching it. The first third act wasn't terrible, other than the fact that Professor Xavier is a different kind of character, and I'll get to that here in a second. But it wasn't terrible as I remember. I remember this movie being a lot worse than I thought when I rewatching it now. The
If
last
you
third, the final act, that was trash. I don't even to this day, I don't understand as somebody creating movies how they would let this, or somebody editing the movie how they would let this slide. So let's talk about. I'm trying to think of what else was good. The message I thought was pretty interesting about, like I said, the depowering.
It's always good to see, Wolverine or Hugh Jackman in his role as Wolverine, etc. I mean, there's Ian McKellen as Magneto. That's what I think I love so much about Days of Future Past, is seeing those characters, those people being brought back, just for even if their roles were minimal, like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen's just in the future scenes, because they were my first introduction to those two characters, and I love those men to death on screen and their bromance off screen.
So one of my favorite scenes that I also liked was when he goes and rescues Raven, when he goes after Mystique and just starts shucking the cars and the truck.
Yeah.
Visually, that looked awesome.
Yeah.
Right? All right. And I think as far as the good stuff, that's probably it. Because the rest of it was a mess.
Yes.
And I think it, much like our problem with Green Lantern, it was just trying to be too much of a movie. And it just, it's like, okay, let's introduce this cure, right? Awesome. That's going to be your big problem. Let's figure out how we stop these mutants from going into the, this research center to get cured, because they don't need to be cured. We're introduced to the character of Angel, who's this tortured soul, right? Mm-hmm. At the very beginning, he's cutting his wings off, hiding from his father, and immediately you're like, oh, geez, man, this poor kid. He's a little kid, right? Yeah. Absolutely waste of character. Doesn't really, he comes back to rescue his father. That's it. It's like there are some missing elements in the movie that
his father has created the cure.
Somebody, and I feel like that was just kind of shoehorned in.
Yeah, they just put it in there. Yeah.
The elephant in the room. Let's talk about the return of Jean Grey.
I think it was very underwhelming, and that I think is the biggest issue, because Dark Phoenix itself, and that's what they tried to do with the new movie, was make that its own story. What happens when Jean Grey comes back as the Dark Phoenix, however she comes back. And that was the biggest issue, because she ended up being a side character in what I think everyone assumed would have been her film. This was supposed to be her film, right? Her returning as the Dark Phoenix. However, I know it's also trying to set up Wolverine for Wolverine Origins. I really think that Fox thought they would make Wolverine a spinoff character and he would have more than just those two movies. But then after the Wolverine probably didn't do so hot, they just, yeah. So they just were done with it.
So Justin asked a question that is also one of my biggest issues with this movie, and he's asking who were the three mutants with the tattoos that joined Magneto. They really try to push him in this movie. One of them
from Lost.
Which is Brett Ratner. He used him in Rush Hour and something else. But Arclight was one of them. But that's the thing. It's like, okay, let's break into this truck. Let's free some mutants. Oh, it's the Juggernaut. Awesome. Oh, it's Jamie Madrox. And all they did was just a setup for a joke later. That's it. The introduction of Jamie Madrox, the Multiple Man, and Kane Marco, the Juggernaut, were just the setup. They serve no purpose in this movie, which is like all the New Mutants serve no purpose in this movie, even to an extent Kitty Pryde. Other than the fact that she was supposed to be the third wheel for this love triangle that kind of went nowhere because, we don't have time to talk about that because we have more plot. Oh man.
It was just, yeah, like plot, plot, plot. And that's the thing. Like, there's moments like the fact that, like I talked about with the Magneto and Mystique, you've seen these characters through 3 movies. They clearly have a strong relationship, and to see how, well, we need to get rid of this real fast, or show, I don't know, that Magneto is a brutal man, which I don't see. But to see him just, one off her and not, think of a way that they could get her powers back, etc. That was very upsetting.
Honestly, I was okay with that just because of his
intention.
His immense hatred for humanity, which goes back to the Holocaust. And actually, Magneto in the first act, now this is another problem. Magneto in the first act was pretty solid when he gave that speech about how, we shouldn't hide who we are. We should be proud of who we are. And it, took away all the. Arclight was one of the Marauders. You are correct, sir, Lloyd. Mm-hmm. And then when he gets depowered at the end, that scene is overshadowed by oh, we got more fight. Oops. Here comes Jean Grey. She's angry. And that was the problem. It was Ian McKellen there turning into a human. And
that was a big deal.
And
that should have been it.
They take the camera and pan over to, oh, wait, we got something else to worry about.
And now he has to give her a speech. No, that should have been the end of that fight. It should have been Magneto. That's why they should have made them 2 separate movies, or just focus solely on the Dark Phoenix and not this whole cure thing. There was no need for 7 different storylines, because that was the problem. That's what frustrated me.
So Armando Lopez, this is beautiful comment. Wrong. Juggernaut's purpose was to give us the iconic "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch," which,
and he did give it.
Really, now I'm a big fan of that damn video. I love "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch." As a matter of fact, they just did like an anniversary last year. My wife and I are big fans. But when I saw that in the movie theater, even I was like, that might be the best part of the Juggernaut, and that's pretty sad. And then Jean comes back and kills Cyclops off screen was my biggest issue. Like I said, I'm not even the biggest Cyclops fan, but you can't treat a character like that. I understand that he was signed on to do the Bryan Singer Superman Returns movie, which, sorry that there was a lot of mistakes that were done, but damn it, write his character off. Don't kill him off. And the fact that he didn't come back, and then Professor X dying and then transferring his consciousness into another body.
Yeah.
Rick Nelson, I think, said it best here. This movie is a classic case of we may not get another X-Men movie, so let's throw every random idea or character in.
And I think Jordan T. Russo said the film's greatest problem was that it absolutely had no idea what it wanted to be. And that's exactly right. It could have been 2 things. It could have been a psychological study of Jean becoming the Dark Phoenix, or it could have been an action movie where stop Magneto and his friends from hurting the people to find the cure, but somehow come together. It could have been 2 different things, and it was both, and it was meshed in a very weird way. And that sacrifice story. It sacrificed our love triangle. It sacrificed Angel's storyline.
The Cure.
It overshadowed the Cure itself. Cyclops. I mean, that's the biggest issue. They were trying to do too much, and still at the end of the day make Wolverine the hero. As long as he was the one who did it at the end, that's all that mattered. I'm assuming Fox's eyes, right?
I don't know. I'll talk about that too, because So Michael, it's not like our opinions are not the shit on anybody else's love. No. I love a lot of movies that I know are not that great. It's just that we just took the 20 worst rated movies according to Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb and Metacritic, and that's how we rated them. That's how we ourselves didn't rate them. It's just that now we're rewatching them and we're looking at all the problems with them.
Yeah, and I think my issue is, because let's face it, you guys know I didn't score Dark Phoenix, the movie, high. Me and Maddie didn't score the actual comic itself that all of these stories come from very high at all either.
Which is travesty all on its own.
I am not I don't come from it with Omar's point of view as an X-Men fan for 20 plus years. I looked at it as a movie fan looking at it as a story point of view, and that's where my problems lay.
And I think there was a couple of users that said this was their first like taste of X-Men. So that's pretty cool that this
Yeah,
movie made them into X-Men fans, and then
mine
eventually
was
they checked out the
pretty
comic.
hard.
My issue that I had with the ending is that all right, Jean's going crazy. She realizes she's going crazy. Why the fuck didn't she kill herself like she did in the comic books, but instead have Wolverine kill her?
Like
Like
I said, they took all her agency away.
no, like Phoenix is dark, and that's the beauty of and the sadness of Phoenix is that she realizes, and in that second of humanity, she's like, I got to do something about this, and she kills herself. Right? In this, it's in that second of humanity, she's like, hey, you're the guy, you're the flagship of this series. Can you please stab me to
You love
death?
me. I know you love me, and this has really just been about our love affair, not about the fact that I had a wonderful man doting on me that I just killed in an instant.
Um, I don't know.
Yeah,
Are we forgetting the main aggravation? The fact that they keep skipping the Phoenix Side,
and
going
maybe
straight to the
that's yeah. And I get they only have have 2 hours. The
build
movies,
up, and they got all these
yeah,
other
they only have two
characters.
hours to do all of it. Realistically, the Dark Phoenix should be set up in like which Marvel may do should be set up in multiple. Honestly, Marvel should probably leave it alone for the time being. Focus on some other stuff.
I think they're gonna get to it. See, I'm torn because I love X-Men and I'm optimistic about the films, but at the same time, it's hard to watch it and enjoy it as the characters weren't done justice, in my opinion. And it's not even like when I go into these films, I don't come at it from like a comic book perspective, like, oh, that's actually wrong. As a matter of fact, that's not the way it happened in the I don't do that at all. I come in from like an angle of, do I enjoy this movie or not? And awesome that it's based on a comic book, right? That's the way I come to these movies. I don't go in them with like full rage. Even Batman cast when they casted Ben Affleck
You
because
were
of
optimistic.
because of Daredevil, I was still Batman versus Superman. I'm like, okay, this could still kick ass.
So, but do you think that the movie might have been ruined just because we spilled all of our popcorn and you have to have it to walk over every time and make all that noise?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Absolutely ruined.
This is a really good question. Is this movie worse than the Dark Phoenix? We're about to
We're
answer
about to
that because
rate it.
we're about. So, in case you're just now joining, last year Amanda and I reviewed the Dark Phoenix right after seeing it in the theater. She gave it a 5 out of 10. I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Yes.
This movie I've only seen one time before this rewatch, and I think even back then, I don't know, I probably gave it like a 2 out of 10. I was so pissed at this movie. I was also a lot younger and full of rage. Now I'm older and wiser and
Wiser,
a little wiser.
downtrodden,
So the big question is, was it that bad?
bad.
Was it really that bad?
Now,
And
check
I'm
give the scores from like Metacritic and everyone like that.
yeah. Why don't you do that and then we'll compare it.
Okay, so just so you guys have an idea, so the Metascore for this was a 58. Rotten Tomatoes was a 57%. The audience score though was a 61.
So audience
And
members like
then
okay,
and then IMDb score is a 6.7 out
okay.
of 10.
Uh, so the whole purpose of the show, was it really that bad? I'm gonna say no. It wasn't as bad as I remember it being. But keep in mind, I hated this movie. I hated this movie. God bless you, Amanda.
Thank you.
What about you, Amanda? Was it as bad as you remember? Yes or no? You've seen it multiple times,
I
though.
have. Well, because when I first saw the movie, I'll admit I wasn't
What's
a
going on,
major
Jesse?
comic book fan.
We do.
Hey Jesse, say what? I wasn't a huge comic book fan, not in 2006. I was, big into college at the time. Different scene for me, different attitude, everything like that. So I liked it okay at the time. It wasn't like my favorite out of the three X-Men because that's all I was comparing it to. But on rewatch, I, in my mind, I think it's a little bit better than Dark Phoenix. I really didn't like Dark Phoenix, so I would say this is a little bit better than Dark Phoenix.
So let's go with that. You gave Dark Phoenix a 5 out of 10. What would you give this movie on a rewatch?
Probably a 6.
6 out of 10. And everybody, please in the chat or in the comments if you're
Let's see
watching
your
this
rating.
later, what would you give this out of 10? For me, I would give this a 4.5 out of 10. It wasn't as horrible as
Dark Phoenix.
I think Dark Phoenix might be the worst X-Men movie.
That was just that was a mess.
Because Dark Phoenix had no excuse to be that bad. Because and that's the problem, right, with Dark Phoenix is that
Well,
it had
Sophie
they
Turner's
had
not a great actress either, but
no, she's not. She looks amazing though. Oh my god, especially in a dress, right? Am I the
yes.
only one? Right, thank you.
What?
So 4.5 for me. So let's see what we're seeing here in the chat. We're seeing a 5. Jack, Jesse, my boy Jesse, 5 out of 10. 4 from Lionheart.
3 out of 10. Derek gave it a 2.
Critique, 5 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Goodness, Clarknado. Dark Phoenix is way better than this one. I don't
That's
know.
rough.
Where
That's
did
rough.
Amanda go to college? She went to
Temple
the
University in
Manchester. Nope. 5 out of 10. 7
North
out of 10.
Broad Street, Temple Hours, baby.
2 out of 10. 3 out of 10. Those are the scores. I gave it a 2.
7 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 6.5. Actually, Matthew gave it a didn't see out of 10. Well, thank you for being honest and just not giving it a rating.
Thank you, Matthew, for coming along to this ride.
Yes, I hope we have given you either made your deciding factor on whether or not you're going to see it. Are you going to see it, Matthew? Now that we've talked about it?
At the time, I would have said a 2.5. Rewatch, so very much like me. That's exactly what I did, Philip. Like, at the time, I was angry. I was mad. I'm like, fuck it.
I like it more than the Wolverine. I did not like the Wolverine.
That's the second one, right? Or Wolverine
Yeah,
Origins?
the second one. Not Origins, the second one. Because I didn't mind Origins so much. I liked, what's his name? Oh, the guy who played Sabretooth, and I can't think of his name now.
I can't believe you don't know the dude from Scream. Married to Naomi Watts. Come on, Amanda. Don't look Google it. Come on, Amanda. Close your eyes. Ian. This is a really good question. Do you think Brian, if Brian had stayed in the movie, it would have been better? Absolutely. Because I don't know if it would have been as good,
right?
Well, I don't know if it would have been as good as 1 or 2, but he had a vision. And at least we would have seen his vision come through. And whether we would have liked it or not, I don't know. But yeah, like
Liev Schreiber. Thanks, Ryan Blue Thunder. Liev Schreiber, that's his name. You didn't say Ian. Who is Ian?
I just love throwing you off. I couldn't remember the dude's name. I just remember he's married to Naomi Watts. Probably because
he's no longer married, Rick Nelson said. So catch up on your celebrity gossip.
My Liev Schreiber gossip? Okay. Do you think a good way to introduce Wolverine into the MCU is to use the story of his comic debut and have him debut in a Hulk movie? I think they can have so much fun with debut of mutants in any of those movies. So I'd love to see Wolverine show up in a
I think Wanda's movie. Be a big part of that.
I'm thinking Wanda's going to be a big part of it as well. Haven't seen it yet, but the last 20 minutes a few weeks ago, 4 out of 10. All right. By the way,
the last 20 minutes.
Zach Penn wrote this movie. Now, if anybody knows that name, that's the guy who wrote Avengers. Well, but he's also rumored to have been the guy that got paid for writing Avengers, and none of his script really, like a lot of his script was just scrapped, and Joss Whedon rewrote everything. So it was disappointing after X2. I agree with you. X2 was, to me, phenomenal. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Do you think this is as bad as Spider-Man 3? We're going to find out because that's on our list as well.
We're going to have to rewatch that at some point when you guys vote on it.
Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2 are on the list of the worst superhero movies, along with some others that we haven't. But by the way, the votes were awesome. Can I just say that? Like, the votes were great this time. There were 1,400 votes, and
you guys showed up big.
It was like 37% for X-Men Last Stand, because goodness, you all love that movie, I guess. And then like 23 and 24% for Catwoman and Daredevil. And then 16% for Superman Quest for Peace. Apparently some people really liked it. Go ahead, Amanda.
No, you're fine. Keep going.
Do you think he regrets passing up X-Men 3? I think he said that, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned in the beginning. He actually had said in an interview he did at while watching that movie, he realized he regretted not doing the movie and passing it up for Superman Returns. Now, whether or not he regrets it because Superman Returns didn't do so hot, or I think it's both. I think it's that and the fact that when he watched X-Men 3, all the things he wanted, he didn't see happen in his vision, and I think that's what disappointed him the most. Or I'm just putting words in Bryan Singer's mouth.
X2 was the best X-Men movie. Just X-Men movies, no Wolverine and Deadpool.
I do love X2 is one of my favorites.
I'm going to say either X2 or Days of Future. I love Days of Future Past. And maybe a little more because they retconned X-Men 3. I don't know. If y'all don't vote, where's my boy Clark Nato? If you don't vote for Catwoman this week, I'm setting fire to one of my neighbors' 4 cars, dude.
Damn, your neighbor. Yeah. Why they got 4 cars?
Shonda Sook said, I wanted that Catwoman too.
Guys, I gotta be honest. I have actually never seen Catwoman. So I would just love to watch it because I just remember
to watch it, really?
So I can see if it's as bad as everyone says it is.
And I'm with Rick Nelson. Unpopular opinion. I don't hate Superman Returns either. I think it was a great movie.
Brandon Routh is Superman either. I think he's a good Superman.
I think Brandon Routh played an amazing Christopher Reeve Superman. Mm-hmm. Amazing Christopher. Like, looked like him, acted like him. Man. Amanda is lucky.
For not seeing Catwoman.
So if y'all want to suffer with us, I will put the poll. The poll will go up on YouTube on Sunday. That's usually when I've been doing this because we've been getting a lot of love that day.
You have a cat, so you like it regardless. I don't know about that. I still wasn't even a fan of Anne Hathaway's version of Catwoman.
Oh, well, that movie had issues too, but I like it. See, I like Superman Returns. First Class is awesome. I agree.
I liked First Class too. I think I might have liked First Class a little bit more than Days of Future Past. I like Art's like, don't do it, Amanda. No, I got to. If you guys vote for it, I have to watch it. There's no other way.
The problem with First Class is that it introduced the shitty timeline of let's just fuck everything up. You can't make that movie based on the 60s and then have the other movies follow afterwards because the damn timeline doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that was one of the biggest problems. Why do you like X2? Because X2 borrowed from God Loves, Man Kills, and it borrowed from Weapon X. So 2 of my favorite storylines, and they did it well on screen. That's why I like it.
Yeah, I think it was a solid movie.
It's better than Fantastic Four. Wait, Catwoman or this?
This? I mean, in my mind, yeah, I thought it was.
This was.
If only because at least the character relationships have already been established, which is kind of cheating. Because they had 2 movies to establish a lot of the other characters' relationships, like the X-Men themselves. But regardless, yeah.
Man, about to see Catwoman, Anakin. This is where the fun begins. Oh, man. Why? Why would you do that? Why would we see Catwoman?
Because you guys are going to vote on it, apparently.
Yeah.
We're going to have to.
I guess we'll see. I'll put it up again. Yeah, so what other movies did you... Last time I put Daredevil, Superman, Quest for Peace.
I want to watch Iron Man 3 at some point because...
You want to do an MCU one?
Well, because I think you and I differ, and I want to talk about that.
You want to talk about our differences? Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't... Here we go. Let's do this then.
Or Ant-Man and the Wasp. Or Thor Dark World. That's a one that everyone hates. I know it's not the worst rated out of all of the...
So in the chat, we'll do the next one as the MCU. Let's just make it all MCU. Okay? Oh, I'll put the poll up for the worst rated MCU movies according to all those websites. So in the chat, let us know which ones. Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2, Thor 2, Ant-Man and Wasp, and Incredible Hulk. So, I think I'll narrow it down to 2 or 3. That way, you all can vote which one it is. And then we'll look at all the scores and kind of give an average of all those and see which ones to pick, which one was the worst. But just out of curiosity, I'm curious what's the worst MCU movie to you?
Yes. Paul, what do you guys think is the worst MCU movie? Oh no, Timmy Ray. That definitely was not on my list.
Look, it's already we're already starting fights. Hulk wasn't that bad, damn it. Shame on you, Omar. For what? Catwoman? That wasn't even my idea, man. What's gonna happen if Amanda loves it and her crazy ass comes dressed up as Halle Berry Catwoman for the next stream, though?
Don't put ideas in people's heads.
Iron Man 3 was a freaking commercial for toys, pretty much. Infinity War. I love that answer. I love these answers I was not expecting.
I know.
Endgame and Infinity War. Wow.
Oh no, Timmy Ray, you.
Far from home.
Don't even, nope, I can't even talk to him right now.
Got it all mad. Iron Man 3 is the best Iron Man movie. Clark Nato is coming in swinging strong with that statement.
Oh,
that
man.
and Dark World. I think for me it's either Dark World or Iron Man 3 is the worst ones. They were pretty bad. And I just did a rewatch last year.
Not Iron Man 2? God.
I don't know. It's just
what is wrong with you people hating on Spider-Man?
Well, now Larry, we're sticking to just MCU. So the stuff that's produced by Marvel. Yeah. So not Elektra or Daredevil. We'll do that the following week.
I know. Matthew's like, I'm okay with female host dressing up as Halle Berry Catwoman.
What's wrong with the male host dressing up?
Yeah, wait till y'all see that Omar rewatched it and how much he loves it. He's gonna have whiskers and the weird like S&M, the
cat was the cat butthole thing from the Cats movie.
Yeah, it's got a cat butthole.
To tie between
his face. All his face will be just a cat's butthole from Cats.
To tie between Dark World and Iron Man 3, I feel the same just about. Live action Mulan is the worst Disney ever to change the subject. Yes, Jack, that's an awesome
statement. It hasn't even come out yet.
It's cursed. Ant-Man and Wasp. I agree. That was pretty bad. I wasn't a fan.
Said, can Morbius be proactively terrible?
You know what, Rick? It could be. I mean, it is. I don't know. Leto's hit and miss. The guy's a damn good actor. It's just that sometimes I don't get it.
I think they shouldn't have even put the Joker in Suicide Squad. I think it was too soon. After, I don't know. Yeah, Elektra's one I remember just watching once and was not blown away by.
That's the way I was about Daredevil. I hated Daredevil.
Oh, same one too. Both of those films.
Whoa, Matthew!
Ooh, wow, Matthew. We should have like unpopular opinion show. These people.
Yeah, like it's funny because like a lot of people come into it like when you're a fan of something, you feel so strongly about it that you almost take offense that somebody doesn't like it, right? Like, yes, I gave that up a long time ago with. I gave up that mentality a long time ago with X-Men, right? Because I know, like, people aren't always going to like the same stories I do. Or my wife doesn't like Starman, right? Which is one of my favorite comic books of all time. So I kind of gave up that mentality, but it happens in movies too. Like people that love Thor Ragnarok cannot understand people that hate it because there are people that hate Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, there are.
And it's people that are like, I don't get it. It's not my type of humor. It was stupid. They could have taken a more serious tone with that movie, and they made Korg into a goofball. So I completely understand. Why is no one naming Blade Trinity? Name one that can top that. As far as the worst, but that was before that was New Line Cinema, right? That was before the MCU. But I love Blade 1 and 2.
They mentioned it last week, but we were like, we can't watch too bad
Ryan Reynolds. Because I'm with Wesley Snipes, man. Ryan Reynolds in that movie was just, man, shut the hell up, please. It's a Blade movie.
That's not how he is in most of his movies. Just shut
up.
That's why they sewed his mouth shut in X-Men Wolverine Origins.
I take offense if somebody doesn't like Catwoman. Obviously the greatest film ever created. See? Dude, you were practically in tears when ORNR. I was drunk. And I deserve to be in tears because that's like one of the best X-Men stories ever. See? See what I mean? Ragnarok is perfect. What are you saying? It's not what I'm saying. I love Ragnarok, but there are a lot of people that don't like it.
Because they took a different tone with it, especially than from what we read Wolverhawk, which is it loosely has ties to that. And obviously it is very different tonally because Taika Waititi was the director. And it's, in my mind, I have to look from it. It's not the comics. It is the MCU that Kevin Feige has created. So there will be differences and they're going for differences throughout. And that's how I have to look at it.
That was one of my biggest problems with this movie, X-Men 3. Did we finish it reviewing? And I forgot to talk about how Professor Xavier was a complete dickhead throughout the whole thing.
Well,
From
you
the moment
were going to mention, you said I'll come back to it. And
I forgot. Damn it.
But he's right. He was kind of a dickhead throughout, and that is very unlike him, yes.
Like, he was like, oh, I'm going to hide this from all my students. The fact that I'm depowering Jean. Oh, by the way, Wolverine and Storm, go and rescue Jean. She's back. But I'm not going to tell you that she's fucking evil and has all this superpower. So, Chanasuk says Ragnarok just felt juvenile to him. Never read any of the source material, but the movie felt childish. Thor and Hulk's behavior throughout. See?
And
Captain America. Look what we started, Amanda. Captain America: Winter Soldier is a bad movie. Look what we started.
We're going to have an episode of unpopular opinions for Marvel MCU or for MCU films because. And let's just talk them all out, guys. Let's talk them all out. Why these? Let's just talk all the.
We'll have Amanda in tears by the end of the episode when we start talking about Spider-Man.
Don't talk about my man.
And why Tom Holland is the worst Spider-Man.
No, he's okay. Whatever.
See what I mean? You just gotta know what buttons to push.
Yes, everyone's talking about New Mutants. Yeah, it's a shame.
They can't catch a break, man. The poor actors that were involved in that movie. Not so much. What's her name? Maisie Williams.
Slide it out to release it. See, the problem is they can't release New Mutants, and I found this out recently. They can't release it on Hulu or like Disney Plus because when they bought out Fox per contract, they had agreed that they would release all of their remaining films in theaters that were slotted to go into theaters. So they have to release New Mutants in theaters or else they're in breach of their contract with Fox. And since Fox is still, I'm assuming, still getting profits because they originally were the production company behind them before they bought out before they were bought out in that segment, they're still getting some percentage of those profits. I'm sure that was part of the deal. So they're going to have to release it. If whether or not Disney decides to slide it in there somewhere, that's what they're going to have to do.
So that's what's going on, huh?
Ooh, I like Art Walker. I don't know if he's being cynical or not about Tom Holland being the best. Michael, I want to talk to you.
I like Michael's comment even better, though. Tom Holland is the best for me to poop on. New Mutants is coming in 2030.
Maisie Williams will have a kid by then.
And her kid can play Rain.
And her kid can play Rain.
Black Widow is the worst MCU film.
We haven't even seen it yet.
Have you seen a copy yet? Because Amanda and I have our bets whether we're seeing it in the theater or whether we're going to see it in the comfort of her couch after we're quarantined and locked in.
I 100% believe it will come out in November, and Omar is wrong. They will never release a tentpole movie like that.
Listen to her throwing just down facts. We'll see. That makes me happy, though. It means I can still see Cannonball on the big screen. Garfield is better than Holland. Black Screen Widow. Spider-Verse is the best Spidey film.
Well, no,
That's true.
It is. It is. I mean, I'm not even going to lie about that. If I was Tom Holland, I'd be jealous I wasn't asked to do a voice cameo for that movie because that was fantastic. I could watch that movie over and over again, and it is fantastic.
Holland and Downey should be banned for remaking. Well, I think Bob Gale said he wasn't going to let it happen.
Yeah, he wasn't going to do it. That was never going to happen. Yeah, but it was really cool. Whoever did the cut where they superimposed their faces, that's some impressive editing right there. Good on that person.
Spider-Verse looks so crazy. Tom Holland is overrated. He is just the current it guy right now. It will wear off eventually. Yes, we have established that. When he turns 50, Amanda will drop him off her radar. The James Cameron film is the best. Yes. With who was he going to cast? Charlie Sheen or Tom Cruise? One of those guys, right? And then
Bono didn't Bono do the Broadway musical? Damn it. Broadway musical Bono Spider-Man's the best. Into the Dark or Off Out of the Dark or what the hell it was called.
Into the Dark? Don't disrespect Spider-Man 2 like that, although Spider-Verse is a close second. I'm a big fan of Spider-Verse. I liked it. I think it was my favorite one. Mm-hmm. Leonardo DiCaprio Spidey. That's what was the original one. And then I remember it got scrapped and Canon bought the rights. And then that movie got scrapped. And they used what was it that they used? They used the props for that movie for Masters of the Universe from
Nice.
Canon Pictures. And that's what happened. Pretty sad. Maybe it wasn't Masters. It was supposed to be Masters of the Universe. That's it. Somebody in the chat. What did the script for Masters of the Universe 2 turn into? Was it Time Cop? Is that the one? Time Cop 2 or something like that? Whatever that turned into. That's what movie they used. Tom Cruise as Spider-Man. Tom Cruise as Iron Man. That would have been good. Are we worried about Sam Raimi taking over Doctor Strange 2? Yeah.
No, not really.
This is Sam Raimi. Evil Dead. Army of Darkness.
Yeah, he has some good film chops behind him. Everyone has a mess up now and then.
Everybody. Bubba Hotep. Come on, Bubba Hotep. All right. Omar and Amanda. Who would be...
I mean, I feel bad for Scott Derrickson, because he had a vision, and I really wanted to see his vision play out on screen. I really am wondering
for what? What did he do? I don't even know what he did.
Well, I like to see if, he did the first one. I want to see where he was going with the second one. He had some, and he took it hard. You can see his Instagram, and I mean, he was pretty down about it for a while.
Now I feel bad. Never mind then. I was just going to say.
Don't give him hard. Don't give him, but he was down about it. I mean,
I'm not saying it was a bad movie. It was just there.
Who would we cast as X-Men and their villains?
Sophie Turner as Wolverine.
Actually, a lot of people have been throwing around Daniel Radcliffe. I was like, well, he's short. He's hairy.
All right, let's talk about that.
Better at acting, actually.
So instead of casting, because this is going to take a long time, let's cast Wolverine, because I'm going to say something that...
No, I do not want Tom Holland to play everyone. I'm not that crazy.
What? I didn't say that. Did somebody say that?
Ray did.
So let's talk about Wolverine.
Are you going to say Danny DeVito?
No, I'm going to say something that I am firmly believe in, but I want you to go first. So who would you cast as Wolverine?
Daniel Radcliffe. Go ahead.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Me. So if you tuned into the show before and just into one of our streams, I've always said that there's several actors that play certain roles and they're casted as these roles, right? You have Jack Nicholson, who plays pretty much Jack Nicholson in every role that he does. But Hollywood knows who they're casting when it comes to that role. Clint Eastwood is very similar to that. Wolverine, to me, his persona is so huge, he almost feels like a real person, right? Like, based on the comic book, that persona of this short guy with just angry and just a badass.
I'm like Kevin Hart. I'm just kidding. No, keep going.
You won't let me finish, woman?
So, Jack, are you saying I would be a good Gene? I can get pretty crazy.
Oh, this bitch is good. She's got that blue jean shirt already on. Anyway, damn it. My point is that it's almost impossible to cast the character. So you would have to have a no name. That's kind of like what they did with Hugh Jackman. I mean, and all these guys like Tom Brady, Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah, awesome. But I think Tom Brady, right? Yeah. Tom Brady, right? Venom?
Quarterback? You mean Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Not Tom Brady. God damn it.
No, they can't make him because he's already Venom and it's too, that's a lot. Yeah.
No, but yeah, all these actors, sure, I'm sure they'd be great, but I think like a no name would be even better. Just have somebody come in, as long as the script is good and the guy's a solid actor. That was it. Tom Brady. I'm sorry about the Tom Brady reference.
I like Ancient 1-0, Ezra Miller's Wolverine. Well, no, even when you saw him take that woman down.
The Flash guy? Guys, come on, this is Wolverine.
No, they're making a joke because of his video of him taking that stand.
We talked about that, Amanda. We saw the video, remember?
Yeah. Drew Brees. Now they're all named football players because you brought Tom Brady. Drew Brees is Wolverine.
That goes back. God damn it. I didn't even say I was going to cast him.
I'm looking at you like, Tom Brady is not an actor, right? I mean, I'm sure he's been in stuff. That's like saying Peyton Manning because he did some episodes of SNL is an actor.
Thank you so much for joining the chat, awesome gamers. Sorry you joined us. discombobulated chat.
Aaron Rodgers. Oh, come on, guys.
Keep it together, guys. Come on. That's it. Thank you so much, Andrew M. I believe Masters of the Universe 2 script became Cyborg. So they used the props from Spider-Man, the movie that was never made, into used it for Cyborg.
Michael says Goldblum as Wolverine.
What?
My cat Bay Leono. He would make a great Leono Thundercats.
Liono, not Leono. How are you going to correct me about Tom Brady and not know how to pronounce fucking Liono?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Patton Oswalt as Wolverine. Amanda's cat is...
It's so hard to see Patton Oswalt.
Liono.
Liono.
Amanda's the best.
Thank you.
Machine Gun Kelly. All right. Apparently, I can't have a serious conversation about Wolverine.
James LeBron as Professor X. Just slam dunk it from the chair. Alexandra Daddario for Rogue. That would be interesting. She's gorgeous.
Oh, let me look.
Her eyes. She's the Baywatch.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Jackson. Dude, she is not that great of an actress, but...
No.
She's fine.
She's beautiful.
She's fine. She's fine.
She is very beautiful.
That ain't no damn Uncanny Amanda's. Oh, Uncanny Omar, guys. That's the amazing Amanda.
That's an alliteration.
Who apparently knows who Tom Brady is, but not Liono.
Because I like to be well-rounded, Omar. Because if I'm at a trivia night and it's all general things, I'd like to be able to say I could answer a sports question.
I have been with you at a trivia night. We lost it. I don't want to hear it. Short, hairy, popular Rocket Raccoon should play Wolverine. I want to see a comic-accurate Wanted movie with Eminem as Wes. Wow! That's something I never thought I would see, a comic-accurate Wanted, because Wanted gets a lot of love.
The movie itself with James McAvoy?
Mm-hmm. He gets a lot of love.
Ooh, Matthew, Uncanny Amanda, and Boo Marshall.
What's up with that, Matthew? Come on now. I hate it when mommy and daddy fight.
It's okay.
Look, we're practicing social distancing, so I can't strangle her. So it's okay. We're fine. And she can't hit me upside the head.
That's, yes, social distancing works well.
Your general knowledge didn't help us in trivia. What's up, Kenny?
Hey, Kenny.
All right, we would have won that trivia, too, if my family had listened to me. But I ain't going to go on that.
No way, Omar.
Remember when I said the Family Guy thing, and I'm like, that doesn't sound like a Family Guy name, and you all decided to listen to Tommy instead. And that's not me giving you the snap. That's actually me, like, scratching off when we were talking. Anyway, I'll talk with my hands a lot.
Yes. Maverick says Strangle sounds like you and Ezra would be good friends. Yeah, they'd be pretty good. Alex said the first time he saw Ezra... Poor Ezra Miller. I don't know what they're going to do with that whole thing.
You should say poor Ezra Miller? That guy's fine.
That's a good way to spin that. I mean, that movie was already doomed from the start, but I can't imagine it's...
What movie? Flash?
I mean, they said they were moving forward, but I don't know. Yeah. Alex,
you guys can fight a trivia on your time.
Right, we can fight.
We do.
Off screen, fight all the time. Yeah, you should. Yeah.
No, they shouldn't.
You should see our family when we played Jackbox together. Omar really gets it then.
Motherfuckers. Hey, love the channel. I'm brand new here, but I've been binging your videos. Tons of fun. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Wait, I'm gonna finish Alex's thing.
Where is it? I'm trying to find it.
Strangle. Yes. First time that Alex saw X-Men X3 in theaters, he liked it a lot when he saw it at the midnight showing. The second time he saw it, he said, wait a minute, this kind of sucks. I could believe that.
Oh,
midnight showings always make you feel like the movie's better than it actually is. I think I felt that way on a couple of Harry Potter films, to be quite honest. Not in the least a Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the first one. The first time I saw it, I thought it was so bad. Second time I said, oh, wait, this isn't that great. And then the second one, me and Omar saw together.
I don't even know what I was watching.
It was so bad.
What was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them?
Uh-huh.
Right? Is that right?
Yep. Forrest Whitaker's wonky eye.
Glenn Danzig in his prime for Wolverine. Supposedly he had a chance to audition. Yeah, I heard about that.
Natural Blast. Uncanny Omar's Wolverine. Actually, he's been Wolverine before, guys. He
I
has
have
been
been
on a number of occasions for Halloween, and if he
Okay,
can
yes.
pull up that quick, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
don't even have a picture of you in it.
I don't think there's many around. Let's see what Alex was like with X3 was me with Far From Home. I apologize, Amanda. I'm taking this joke too far.
It's okay.
She's gonna break, and then I'm gonna get text messages.
You know, speaking of Far From Home, I had to talk to this girl on this Disney Plus Facebook fan page that I'm a part of.
You
She's
had
like,
to?
I don't understand Far From Home. Like they act like she's like, I don't understand. They act like how's Ned still in the same grade as him? I was like, because he got dusted too. It's like, no, he didn't. I was like, how did you know that? They kept it a secret. They revealed all the people. They did not reveal his dusting for a reason because they knew it would spoil what was going to happen in Far From Home and Endgame. So I was like, of course they're not going to show you what happened to him or tell you. They said Aunt May because yes, she grieves for her nephew who's been gone. But
so
anyway,
you had this
she
conversation.
Also watched the film close enough. She's like, everything's just the way it was. I was like, what are you talking about? People are homeless. Things are destroyed. What are you talking about? Not everything is the way it was.
And this is how you make Amanda snap. Any thought of taking this on Family Feud?
Maybe we should, Omar. Maybe
we should. And then, like, I for real will be arrested. I will be arrested. I'd be arrested as soon as my family disagrees with me.
We would be the people on the bloopers for Family Feud when Steve Harvey says something and they say something ridiculous and he just gives them that look, you know?
Yeah, why would you say that?
It's my favorite thing to watch, like just a montage of all of those scenes because they make me laugh really hard.
How many of you guys would like to see Rogue get all her powers in the MCU? They can do it. Absolutely. If they put her in like it's rumored to be in the Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel 2, yeah, they can sure as hell do that. Survey says no.
No, it was just brown leathers. He didn't do usually like a jacket, like with the cigar and the muscle tank, the wife beater, and that's what your Wolverine costume was. You didn't go
yeah. I did my hair. And then at one time I did do the blue and yellow costume.
Ooh,
yellow.
I like TYBG48.
I'm honestly convinced that Tony Stark has been Uncle Ben this whole time undercover.
Ooh, that's an interesting theory.
Like, they didn't even talk about Uncle Ben. Next YouTuber is YouTuber boxing match a real thing? I don't know. I don't keep up with YouTube. Is it?
I'll box you. Is it this way?
Come on, man. Don't embarrass yourself. I'm not hitting a girl.
I'm an equal opportunist. I'll hit you right back.
Remember? Yeah, until I knock your ass out, and then everybody's.
Do you deadlift 265? Let's talk about this.
Come on, dude. I am naturally built. Come on, get out of here.
All right,
265. Anyway, let's take that to the chat, okay? Let's take that to the chat.
Okay, Andrew M wants to know who would be your top 3 X-Men to be in an MCU.
I guess it depends on where they're starting off. Honestly, I would love to see a proper portrayal of the original 5 with Professor X. So, Beast, Iceman, Angel, Jean, Marvel Girl, I guess, and Cyclops. And then throw Tom Brady in there for fuck's sakes. Here is a good question from Kenny. Will Henry Cavill return as Superman? That is the billion-dollar question. Like, what is the news on that, Amanda? I usually look to you.
He left it very ominous. He left it the way it is, where there's obviously no Superman in development, but there's always a possibility he could come back. But he left it very ominous when he gave his kind of farewell, if you will. So who knows? He really is enjoying making The Witcher. That's a passion project for him, and more power to him because I think he's pretty badass as Geralt. And he made me fall in love with him and The Witcher because of that show. So.
Okay. So there's your answer.
Yep.
We don't know.
I'll get you that everyone thinks I'll kick your ass.
Not everybody, okay? If I take it to YouTube poll, I'll make it a YouTube poll. First of all, I'm not hitting you. The near mint condition crew versus Omni. Dude, they don't want to mess with this. I've asked. They don't want to do it. And
Yeah.
they know better, though. Because then I'd have to play like Wolverine, right? When he was on Avengers and X-Men, I'd have to play both teams.
Yep. Michael, have you read the books too for The Witcher? And yes, Shonda Sook. I've been falling in love with men my whole life. Thanks to ever since JTT back in the 90s.
JTT.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you have. Yeah, I've read the books too. I really like them a lot. Andrew Andrev, I can't pronounce his last name, is excellent. Would Conor McGregor the crap out of you?
I'd fucking
happening.
I'd Mike Tyson you, and I don't mean him beating women. I mean like when he bit off what's his name's ear.
Is that Dane Cook next to Ellen Page in X3? No. Are you talking about Multiple Man?
No, isn't it? Or
it's Eric Dane. He was on Grey's Anatomy. He was not McDreamy, McSteamy. I'm sorry.
What the hell's the difference? McDreamy was the guy who's in Meatballs Part 2.
And then his McSteamy came along after Eric Dane's character, and they had. I watched the first couple seasons of. I groomed a bunch of girls, who really loved it. Grey's Anatomy.
Okay, there we go. There's your answer, and I think that's Colossus, by the way.
No.
To answer his question.
How is that even? I thought it was Multiple Man. I thought that's where talking. Well, he looked like Dane.
Not all white guys look the same. That's Colossus.
Yeah, and they're both dead now. Yeah, because everyone.
Who's dead? Evander Holyfield? Who?
No. The two people from. I would beat the crap
I don't know, man. That'd be a tough match right there. Amanda versus Ezra Miller. He'd be trying to scratch him, and he'd just be, trying to take her down.
Ooh, Bruce has a question. Do you think they would introduce X-Men characters as students in the same school as Peter Parker? It's a possibility.
I'm trying to highlight it right here. There we go. Bruce Williams. I would love to see mutants just being introduced in the MCU. It'd be a really cool. I have faith in Feige that he knows how to properly introduce these characters.
Did you realize he was an executive producer on this film, by the way?
No.
Yeah, I was watching the credits because I was trying to remember to write down all the people. I was like, "Holy crap! Kevin Feige was an executive producer on X3. What?" Now I need to go back and look at his timeline again. It's where his rise to power came.
Lionheart, Omar, Rob64 has to do a video on his thoughts on the new PS5 controller. We're having him and I are doing a live video tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Yep. How about Omar? Chat people get to ask comic trivia to Omar and Amanda. Can we do movies and but Amanda knows all this general trivia that she claims to know about, like Tom Brady.
Okay, but your deep cut comic stuff, I don't know as well as you do.
If they're asking about Ezra Miller, I had to think about that. I'm like, who the hell is Ezra? Oh, the guy from got it, Flash. Amber Heard was shit on his bed. Did that really happen? Is that a thing?
Is that what happened with her?
I don't know. I can't keep up.
Cinematic Galaxy talked about Kitty Pryde being at the center of the X-Men, and I agree because when we've read
From the Ashes,
yeah, I mean she was one of my favorite characters, and she is very relatable. So I wouldn't mind seeing a version of that Kitty Pryde in the MCU, and I think she would fit in fairly well.
So anybody that knows Buffy, right? That's who Joss Whedon modeled Buffy after, was Kitty Pryde when he was writing her character. So that's
Michael, is that who he went to Tampa Bay? He became a free agent?
Who's the quarterback at Tampa Bay, played Venom in the movie? Shut up, Michael.
I didn't realize he went to Tampa Bay. I just knew he became a free agent. I was like, holy shit, there goes the Patriots.
I'm excited for the Superman and Lois TV series coming from the CW soon. What about you guys? I saw the casting. So who are they using as Superman then? Like I saw the casting of Lois. I'm sorry.
Oh, they're
Or
not using the same guy from Supergirl?
well, they're not using the Lois from Supergirl. They're using
Oh,
another. Or no, not Lois. I'm sorry, Lana. Wow. So it's really weird because why do they need a Lana if he has a Lois? But whatever. Uh, Whoa, Omar sneaking in another live stream. No notifications for me. Oh man, I'm sorry.
I'm
You didn't
sorry
get
about that.
notifications. Yeah, YouTube's been really weird lately. Sometimes people get notified, sometimes they don't. And I think also FF movies too. Blade Trinity, Elektra, and Daredevil are so many before the MCU.
Yeah.
She should have been the main in Days of Future Past. Yeah, even the director's cut she was cut out of. They used Rogue instead
Same.
of her. And the Rogue cut is actually pretty cool. I like the Rogue cut. Lionheart adding glory. Yeah, man, I hope you enjoy that. One of my favorite Image titles, dude. Do you think modern properties like Hogwarts and Deadly Class owe a debt to Westchester School?
Is that the location where they filmed them?
That's the X-Men.
Oh, the X-Men. I don't know about Deadly Class, maybe.
A school of gifted youngsters.
You're right. Okay, yeah, that is definitely.
I'm about to boot your ass off this
Yeah,
chat.
I guess you're right. I forget how old X-Men is, but yeah, you're probably right. I'm sure if it's to believe, J.K. Rowling really found all the Harry Potter stuff somewhere else, but
I think it's art inspired by art, and I'm sure. I mean,
yeah.
if I mean, some people would say that X-Men wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Doom Patrol. So there's that. So, damn, Omar Amanda calling you old. No, she didn't.
I mean, I will call him old.
And she's like 2 years older than I am, so I don't know what she's talking about. Moving on to the next question. Omar, Extreme X-Men or Exiles? Ooh, tough choice. I'm a Claremont fanboy and apologetic. So Exiles is a lot more fun though. I'm not like the Judd Winnick run was freaking awesome. So check that out if you haven't read it. I think they released a couple of the complete collections.
Oh no. People stop asking me comic questions. I'm not that good.
Well, you know this one. What superhero grew up on planet Tamaran? Now, close your eyes and picture planet Tamaran, Amanda. It's like a star made of fire, right? That's what it looks like. So, what hero? A star made of fire.
I feel like I know this.
A star made of fire. Picture it.
Starfire. Oh, she's Tamaran. That's right. That's why it's so familiar. Because she talks about all the time in Teen Titans Go.
I was hoping you'd say Firestar from New Warriors.
Oh, Starfire. I do know who that is. And okay. But no, what's his name? Lionheart. What is Arkham Asylum named after?
You haven't? Okay, so we need to get on that. You need to read Arkham Asylum.
I've never. Yeah, I mean,
it's a classic, and
what is it named after?
Well, you find out when you read it. They'll be open next month.
But he just asked me.
You can answer next month after Old Reader, New Reader.
Okay, Michael, I knew Danny Rand is Iron Fist.
Look,
even though
she knows that
the TV show that much. He shows up in he was just in what's it called? World War Hulk.
Yeah, for like a panel.
For a brief minute. Well, someone had to protect Doctor Strange as he did his stuff.
So point for Amanda. There you go. Yay! There you go. Amanda gets a point. I didn't know this was a contest.
The actors who play Superman: Brandon Routh, Christopher Reeves, Henry Cavill.
Wait, 3 actors.
So who's that guy with the CW, Omar?
I was gonna Daniel Radcliffe, Tom Brady, and Tamarani and Starfire. So, Amanda, can you? Oh, this is a really good question because I know you can do this.
Yeah, they're all Renaissance painters.
Sure.
Donatello,
Uh-huh.
Michelangelo,
All right.
Leonardo.
Uh-huh.
Oh, fuck.
Who you having problems with?
The
Oh,
last one.
last one. Let's see.
Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello. God, it's on the tip of my freaking tongue.
How can I help you with this?
He gave it to me, Raphael.
Oh man. All right. There's another one. I was gonna give you some
I
some
like
hints.
ones like, who is Ezra Miller not going to play in a formerly upcoming DC comic movie?
There's a fifth turtle, and no, it is not Van Gogh. So Tyler, okay, Amanda,
Holchin?
oh,
Holchlin?
sure,
Okay.
yep, you butcher it. I don't. Is playing Superman, Clark Kent, and Superman and Lois. He was in Supergirl and recent Arrowverse crossovers. Yeah, I like the guy. He's really sluggish, but
Oh, see, Kenneth said that the same girl from the Lois Lane Arrowverse crossovers is playing the Lois Lane in the new.
She is. It's Lana who was casted. I'm sorry.
Oh, Lana. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, who's?
That's a good question. I know what she's gonna say. Come on, Amanda.
I love my boy Eminem.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, 100%. Oh my god! When 8 Mile came out, I saw that in theaters. I was still under 18, so I had to bring a chaperone because they still cared back then. Oh, yeah, 8 Mile was. That is his. Was it 2004 or his 2003 CD? Yeah, I could listen to that front and back. There's like his one song, his Superman song, Superman. Yeah, I think that is very sexy. I get a little turned on when I listen to it.
There you have it. I don't even know what the hell the question was, but Omar, do you think there will be a 90s Peter David X Factor? Anything is possible. Anything is possible. One of my favorite questions that I've gotten for me is trivia question for Omar. What sports involves a puck and a hockey sticks?
Yes, Omar, what does...
I literally gave you Firestar on a platter. Hockey. Final answer. Can you list all the colors of the Power Rangers? That's kind of easy because they're change every season.
God, I used to watch them when I was a little girl too.
You were under 18 for 8 Mile? Yeah, Philip, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Almost there. I was like 16. I think I was 17, really, when it came out.
What property did the Charlton characters inspire Alan Moore to create? Watchmen.
Well, yes, I was going to say that.
We both knew that.
Yes.
Yes. Point for Omar for hockey. Thank you so much. I am the winner. What Machine Gun Kelly for Magneto and Eminem for Professor X? Dude. Thank you, Candace. It ain't Quidditch. No, it's not. Omar, did you see the custom Peter David X Factors that Riley had in his collections?
No.
Yes, but there's a rule about those customs. It's kind of like the Fight Club rule. Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and Tom Hardy.
I'm thinking about that because it's where I think he plays his son or whatever, and I can't. Well, he was much younger then, and I can't remember the damn movie. It's like a thriller. Obviously, it was not very popular. I don't remember I don't know. It's definitely not The Impossible. It's not one I bought and watched. It's not.
What was the question?
They both appeared in a movie together before they were to appear together in a Spider-Man movie. They were in like when Tom Holland was a younger little boy because he is only like 23.
He was always a younger little boy. I want Tom Hanks to play Superman in a film where he is the. How about Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow? That would be a cool take on Superman. Do y'all remember that story? That's a story we should read for old reader, new reader. It's an Alan Moore story. Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow? It's the last story pre-Crisis on Infinite Earth. So it's like saying goodbye to the Golden Age Superman. It's like you get to see he's disappeared, right? Oh, it's like, we should read it. Never mind. It's awesome.
Yeah, don't tell me. Yeah. Well, Tom Hanks is. I'm just happy he's okay.
Yeah.
No, that is not what I love about.
That he's a smaller little boy. Look, this is how rumors get started,
Yeah,
man.
and the rumors get started. And I gotta look that film up. Hold on a second. You keep talking.
Tom,
Tom. It'll take me 5 seconds to look it up on IMDb.
I don't think we can say that. Can
What?
Tom Hanks and Superman versus COVID-19. Y'all are silly tonight. If anyone were able to get them, I thought you would have.
Is it Locke? Is that the movie you're talking about?
Yeah, Locke. Locke.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What about it? You looked it up.
Yeah, because I was I had to remember what the name of it was. It was something like one word. I couldn't think of it. Yeah.
At this rate, instead of recasting Wolverine, more likely we'd see Hugh Jackman as Old Man Logan in a future X-Men or Avengers movie. Yeah, I think that's what they may do, honestly, at first.
That wouldn't be bad.
All right, we got time for one more question. We don't have to make it a trivia question. Just whatever.
Yeah, any question.
Please don't ask me anything about football or apparently hockey.
About football.
Or apparently hockey.
Kenneth thinks that Lily Reinhart would be a good Gwen Stacy for the MCU.
Who's she?
She's in Riverdale. She's in some other stuff. Let me look her up quick for you. Lily Reinhart.
Omar, are you picking up the Superman Man of Steel, John? Bruh, is it deluxe? I heard it was a standard hardcover. And regardless, I probably am going to pick it up because I am a weak-ass bitch when it comes to these stories.
Yeah, you kind of are.
Okay. No need to confirm that. Amanda Mulan is going to do bad at the box office. That came out of nowhere. That's not even a question. That's a statement. I love it.
I guess y'all know that I am okay with this movie coming out. And I'm okay with it because it is historical. Like it is.
There it is. The historical aspect of Mulan with no dragon. No dragon, no ticket, Amanda. That's going to be my hashtag.
Yes, that's right. Yes, no, Ignatz, you're right. He was just a voice over the phone, but he does talk about doing a movie with Tom Hardy before, so that would, yeah.
Why are you guys so amazing? Amanda's amazing.
I don't know about that.
Amanda's amazing. I am Uncanny. Do you know any site for trading omnis? The Omnibus Collectors Group and Trading Swap Group. It's on Facebook. You should join them.
Yep.
You are a weak ass bitch, which is why Amanda's going to fuck you. What the?
Oh, Timmy Ray. Don't Amanda, end on that note.
The Uncanny David Gabriel. I haven't talked to David in a little bit. He's a busy guy, so I need to hit him up. With Amanda.
Thank you,
Mulan looks like it's going to be good, and I hated the new Lion King.
And I hated the new Lion King too. I was not a fan of it. Visually beautiful, but yeah.
That Mulan girl is hot.
She is.
Man. I need to look her
Omar
up.
Omar really has it. Like, it has the hots for like a talking dragon, and that's why he just can't get over it.
No, bullshit. I like that girl in Aladdin. I almost went to see it because of her. Princess Jasmine.
She's beautiful too. Yes.
The new Star Wars show, A Mandalorian.
Very funny. Well, I like that better than some of the other things people have made jokes about my name before.
Really? Like what?
Oh, one of these girls was like, when I was younger, would be like, a man, duh. Like, okay, I got it. The man is in my name. Yes. Okay, thank you. Like,
got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Which superhero movie do you think will never be made into a movie or TV show? Oh, which superhero do you think will never be made into a movie or TV show?
I mean, at this rate, they could. Is any superhero off the table?
Not really. I think even God bless. I think like you're gonna get random things like the Pro, right? The Pro, who's a hooker that happens to be a superhero, that will eventually make it into the big screen. Just because
stuff has gotten made into film. I mean,
it's really difficult to guess. Like you have movies that are like, what is it like? You don't even think of movies like From Hell or Road to Perdition as movies that are based on comic book movies, but they are, right? So I think anything is possible, but my goodness, what's a shitty story that I don't see ever happening?
And maybe not even just a shitty story. It's just like a character who just
Or
never
a
gained real
character.
traction. Doc Samson. I don't know.
Doc Samson is awesome, guys.
Just gonna show up anytime soon.
He's a therapist, and he's gonna show Hulk what his inner feelings are like. This is difficult. I'm trying to think of like controversial characters too. And you know what? I don't know. I think for now I'm just gonna say pretty much any character's free game. Ambush Bug. I bet even Ambush Bug makes it.
Ooh,
Brother Power, the Geek. Never gonna happen. I was gonna go with controversial characters, but that's probably another topic.
Yeah, Teen Titans Go movie did show us there are no limits. They'll even make a movie about Batman's car.
Oh, that's right.
I love that. Poor Robin.
Good catch. Good catch.
They may not make that one. Real obvious.
Apparently, Doc Samson was in. Really? I don't remember that.
Doc Samson was the dad for Modern Family?
He was in Incredible Hulk the movie. That's going to be one that we get to watch.
I'll have to rewatch that. It's been a long time since I've watched Incredible Hulk, guys.
Would you watch First Class first? What's your order? Oh, my order is I usually go in the order that they're released, kind of like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go Star Wars 4, 5, 6.
Like even I tried to like watch the MCU films in their chronological order, but since I want to watch like it just yes, chronologically they happen in a certain order, but because of how they're filmed, I still prefer how they come out in theatrical release order.
He was Betty's boyfriend. Yeah, I'm with Amanda. Same thing with like Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I watch Lord of the Rings. I don't watch The Hobbit first. Both of you should do a panel at a con. That would be a lot of fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
We can get in with our NMC. We just show our badge. We're part of the NMC crew. Carry this
badge. You cannot miss it.
Amanda, damn, she's funny. You really are, Amanda. Some sweet little notes from Timmy Ray here.
Thank you.
Omar, goodness, this was a fantastic stream.
Thank you. See you next week, depending on what you guys pick for us.
Oh, Mary, I haven't seen Mary in a long time. Hey, bring everybody back.
What's going
on? Make mine minty.
Oh, I like that.
Man. Dark Knight Rider. David Hasselhoff is Alfred. That's an awesome idea.
That is actually a really good idea.
All right, and with that being said, don't forget to check out the YouTube poll that will go up on Sunday, and we'll the next movies we'll watch will just be strictly MCU. So we'll choose like 3, maybe 4
the worst rated.
Of the worst rated ones out of the top 20 lowest. What happened to just one more question?
That was a good question. It's what happens. Omar just starts answering.
I love you guys. I got my voice back yesterday, guys.
I'm so excited to talk.
I miss
me. I've had 3 meetings today for work. I'm like, ah.
Oh, I had meetings for work, but I don't care about that. That's different.
But I have to talk in all my meetings.
Well, you don't have to.
No, I do. One of them was an editing session, so I have to make meaningful comments. So she's editing my stuff.
I saw that call, and it looks so kick-ass, too. Really quick, Omar, wasn't this Jean Grey more like the 1610 Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force? The Neil Gaiman stuff?
You'll have to
1610? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and a lot of people compared it to also, what's it called? The Ultimate Jean Grey as well. Dude, save your voice before you lose it again.
Austin, that's a heavy toll. Look at Austin. You know what? I say just go to the courthouse and go get married.
Oh, Austin!
Wedding planned.
First of all, congratulations.
Yes,
supposed to get married on May 16th, but it's up in the air. What should we do? The decision lies on you guys. Okay. Depends on your age. If you're in your 20s, write it out. Wait till you're in your 30s.
I don't know. I mean, as someone who's had a wedding.
As someone who's had multiple weddings.
I mean, it depends on if you spent a lot of money on it already.
Yeah, right. It depends on But if it's your first one, my man, go get married. Get all decked out. Wait for everything to get back to normal.
Party later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And on that note, great question to end it on. Amazing Amanda, will you please?
I have extra hands today.
Sign us off.
All right. So thank you guys so much for watching tonight. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and follow us on all of our social media channels at @NearMintCon. Remember to support us on Patreon if you want to keep seeing great near mint condition content. Check out our Redbubble as well. And remember that Omar will be posting the next survey or next poll for next week's episode on Sunday. So check back onto our community page to find out how you can vote on that. And with that being said, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Stay safe and healthy, everybody. Thank you all.